Hey everybody, Ryan here with Braves Latest. Today we're going to talk about the announcement of FanFest being held February 14th, as well as the newest premium seating kind of being added to Tropicana Field, pretty much for the first time as an all-inclusive premium seating setting, as well as some other news flashes and rumblings around the Rays world and in Major League Baseball. But first, let's talk about FanFest. So it's February 14th on Valentine's Day on 16th Street, just west of Tropicana Field from 1 to 5 p.m. It's going to be called the Block Party. It's free to attend, but you need to go on to the website and kind of just claim a ticket on there pretty much. Parking for the most part is free as well. And it's usually FanFest is usually held inside Tropicana Field, but obviously with all the reconstruction and all that stuff, kind of can't really do that, especially in February. As long also last season, the Trop not being there, they held it at the St. Pete Pier, and they kind of liked the dynamic of the whole outside like block party fan fest thing. And there'll be pop up shops and food and beverages, and there's a community yard sale, which is kind of like game used memorabilia and stuff like that too, as well. That'll kind of all be implemented together. So that'll be that'll be a good time for Rays fans in the area. If you're there, make sure you pop out on Valentine's Day. Kind of maybe take your date, take your wife, take your girlfriend, take your kids down there, have a good time. I think it'd be great. I mean, I like I like the whole idea of having kind of the fan fest and things of that nature. Kind of get all the fans back together, especially with Tropicana Field. Kind of people putting it in the back eye of, hey, we haven't played here in a while, and kind of forgetting that this is our stadium. It's new and improved to a certain degree. Like we've made some upgrades, kind of get people ready back for that opening day feel. So I think it's gonna be a good time. I might end up going down there at some point, maybe for it. So we'll see. But the next thing I want to talk about is the premium seating being added. So it's about 1,000 tickets will be available per game. It's in a left field, above left field, and so it's going to be all inclusive. So it's food, beverage, beer and wine, all inclusive. Tickets start around $49, but that's mainly for weekday games against like the Colorado Rockies. That'll be no offense to the Rockies, but it's not a premium opponent by any means. So opening day at Tropicana Field, they're about $80 a piece, and then from there it's kind of just goes up and down depending on weekends. If it's a weekend against the Nationals, it's probably not going to be as much as a weekend against the Yankees, obviously. So it's good that they're kind of fluctuating the dynamic ticket pricing that they kind of always have had. I mean, I remember I lived in down in Venice in Bradenton for 2 summers, and I would go to games for $15 and go sit in the outfield for $15, which at a Major League Baseball game, those prices are pretty much unheard of. And so it also helps that kind of the driving factor for the cheaper ticket prices obviously are the amount of people that end up going to the games. But I do think giving people kind of an all-inclusive option for only $50 on a Tuesday night, that's kind of a no-brainer. You go there, you get dinner, you have some beers. Depending on, I don't know what if there's going to be limits set for how many you can have. I'm sure they're not going to be bottled beers. They're going to be draft 10, 12-ounce cups, like typical usual all-inclusive stuff does. But the reason why they're kind of adding this is because they had the ability to do it at Steinbrenner last season, and it went great for them, and they just had the ability to be able to get stuff in to Steinbrenner and kind of have that all inclusive area, and people loved it. And so they're kind of just pretty much just transitioning over to Tropicana Field, and I think that people are going to love it. And I think those are going to be the first seats to kind of go every night, especially on a Tuesday. If you can go for $50 and eat dinner, have beer, it's going to be it's a no brainer ticket in my opinion. And so the menu last season in at Steinbrenner was kind of the food was popcorn, pretzel sticks, hot dogs, nachos, pulled chicken sandwich. Drink wise, there's domestic draft beer, house red and white wines, Coca Cola products, and bottled water. And so it's kind of the basic ballpark food. So you get your nachos, chicken sandwich, hot dog, popcorn, pretzels, and obviously there'll be times where there's specialty items on the menu and things of that nature, and the menus will probably the specialty item will change every game. Usually is kind of how those all inclusives go. So I do kind of like it. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to bring more people to the ballpark that are looking for kind of that more stylish way of going and watching a baseball game, and kind of necessarily more going for the more of a entertainment way instead of going to watch a baseball way. So I kind of like it. We'll see kind of how that transcends throughout the season, but I don't think there's ever going to be a problem with it, and I think it's a great addition. And some other things I kind of want to talk about that I've been seeing. So FanDuel recently released their regular season win totals for the 2026 season. The Orioles line is set at 85.5. The Red Sox line is set at 87.5 wins. The Yankees are set at 91.5 wins. The Blue Jays are set at 89.5 wins. And the Tampa Bay Rays are set at 76.5 wins. So the odds makers in Vegas think that the Rays are 10 games worse than the next best team in the division. And at this point right now, I wouldn't necessarily say that they're incorrect. I think that this is another fun. The Rockies line is set at 50.5, which is that's insane to think about. They're projected to go 50 and 112. That's ridiculous. Anyways, yeah, they think that the Rays are kind of going to be the bottom feeder in the AL East this season, and as of it looks like right now, they're not completely wrong in my opinion. So we'll see. I think I have kind of set my expectations to where if we can get 75 wins this year, I'll be happy. And because I've kind of accepted the fact that we're not fully building to compete, or we're building to compete. We're not building to win at a high level this season. And I think that's something that I've kind of just grown to become okay with, especially kind of with how everything's kind of transpired with getting all of these draft picks, or not draft picks, but prospects, comp picks, and things of that nature. And we still haven't found our second base option yet. So all the signs are kind of leaning towards not wanting to compete unless in the near future we do go get our second baseman. So I think that is kind of going to be the driving factor of what our outlook on the season is going to be, because if we have Taylor Walls playing second base every day, from just a hitting perspective, I don't think it's going to get us kind of over that hump. From defensively wise, it's going to be a fantastic addition to second base, way better than Brandon Lowe's defensive ability. But I just think that with the $18 million that we have that we're kind of just sitting on right now, if we don't go out and get a second baseman, I just don't see a full competitive lineup for 2026 as well. MLB also starting to release their top 100 right now. Yandy Diaz slated in at 71 on that list yesterday. So he's right around the Joe Ryans, the Logan Gilberts, Yelich, Jacob Wilson, Stephen Kwan. Those are the guys behind him. He's at 71. That's 72, 73, 74, 75. So it's great to have him kind of be getting that national recognition. I'm pretty confident that Junior is going to be a little bit higher, in my opinion. And I think we might slate in McClanahan at some point in there. I think he is an elite pitcher in baseball, and I think people know that. He obviously hasn't pitched since 2023, so we'll see kind of if he does end up sliding in there somewhere, but he should. He 100% should. And kind of another news, I've been talking about the broadcasting rights and things of that nature for the last week, I feel like, with FanDuel. FanDuel actually offered 3-year deals to Major League Baseball teams to return to FanDuel this past week. But it's all dependent on if FanDuel Sports Network can find somebody to buy the company. And so that's just where it just falls off the rails, in my opinion, of what is FanDuel doing? Like, I understand that they're just trying anything they can to just hold on and keep the company afloat, which I get it. I completely understand. But I just don't think from a Major League Baseball team perspective, it's okay to just jump back into that. And with all the problems that they've had, I don't see it getting much better unless they find a very, very suitable buyer for them. So we'll kind of see where that goes. But you guys let me know what you guys think about the premium seating edition, as well as kind of these other rumblings that have been around the league. And you guys have a great one.